Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of year again. It's time for my favorite time of year. Not the NFL playoffs, those suck. The NBA playoffs are trash. March Madness is fun. But my favorite time of the year is mid April to mid June, although this year it's going to be the beginning of May to the end of June because the Phantom Olympic break. So, what we're going to be doing today is predicting the Stanley Cup Playoffs for the year of 2022. However, I'm not alone. I'm joined by Quincy Bell Sports, who premiered his picks earlier. Quincy?
Hello.
There he is.
How
You could
you
hear.
doing?
I don't know if you could hear him or not, but I'm pretty sure the mic's barely picking him up. So, anyways, what we're going to be doing today, again, we're going to be predicting the Stanley Cup Playoffs. You can see them right here. Here's the bracket. Different graphics from last year. So, we're going to overview the entire bracket right now and kind of give my thoughts on each team. Unlike Quincy's bracket, I have the West on the left and the East on the right because it just makes geographical sense.
I just kind of put him in. Sorry about that.
I kind of just did too. It was kind of just, it was random. It wasn't really intentional by any means. Looking at the West, the Central Division, I guess, the Pacific Division here, plus Dallas. So, again, how it works, you guys probably know how it works by now. The top three teams of each division get in, and then the two best teams that did not get top three in the division get wild cards. Lower seeded wild card plays the higher seeded one seed, and the lower one plays the lower one seed. Same here. So what it came out to be, there was a last second pass by Nashville. Man, I mean, it was like Kyle Busch on Tyler Reddick on the final lap of the Bristol Dirt Race. That's just how it is. So, what we got, our first matchup here.
So glad Vegas got eliminated.
I mean, I kind of was too, but I'm a Chicago and Vegas fan, so I was kind of happy, kind of not. I wore my Vegas jersey that night because I'm an idiot. Our first matchup is Colorado and Nashville, and then below that we got Minnesota and St. Louis. Pacific, we've got Calgary and Dallas. And then Edmonton and Los Angeles below that. So that's your west side of the bracket. Now we move on to the east, where we've got who I think the best team in the league is, and their President's Trophy shows. Florida against Washington in the Atlantic Division playoffs, although Washington's out of the Metropolitan. That's all because of the wild card. They need to go back to the 1 through 8 seeding, or at least go 1, 2, 3, 4 with the divisions. And then we've got Toronto and Tampa. Toronto and Tampa. Everyone's saying, "Woo, Toronto's going to win Austin Matthews 60 goals." Shut up. We'll get there. And Quincy here is a Maple Leafs fan.
Yes, I am. Free me of this pain.
No. Below that, in the Metro, Carolina, Boston, although Boston's out of the Atlantic. Let's just switch these two teams. Switch Washington and Boston. Acela Express type vibes right there as they serve Washington and Boston. And then we got below that the New York Rangers, not the Islanders. The Rangers. It was the Islanders last year. It's the Rangers this year. And I'm excited about the Rangers again. We'll get to them. So, quick overview of the bracket. I think this is a great bracket. As Quincy said in his video earlier, the NHL has 2 seasons, regular and post. And Quincy, what do you say?
The regular season doesn't mean anything besides just getting to the playoffs. That's the whole. That's like you may as well throw out everything for the regular season before you start the playoffs.
Because the regular season, I mean, if you think about the regular season, you literally just fight for a seed, and then you have to fight for your own survival. Because in the Stanley Cup, everybody has a shot, which is why it's the best playoffs ever. Because if you think about March Madness, you have a few upsets every now and then, but then when you get to the Final Four, you have Well, when you get to the, we'll say the Elite Eight. When you get to the Elite Eight, unless you're St. Peter's, did they make the Elite Eight? I forget.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
They were lowest.
Unless you're St. Peter's, pretty much all the teams in the Elite Eight are the favorites, or most of them. I'd say about 3/4 of the teams in the Elite Eight are often the favorites. With the Stanley Cup, you will have a favorite or two in the Final Four, but it's just so unpredictable, and that's why all of my brackets have sucked. Last year was terrible. Quincy, I'm sure yours was pretty bad too. Who'd you have winning?
I can't remember.
We can go back and look at that stream.
I think I had the Hurricanes.
I think I did. I think I had Vegas because I'm an idiot. They lose to Montreal, who, by the way, clinched last place. I love how Montreal went from a Stanley Cup appearance to last place in the NHL in less than a year. I think they're the only team to accomplish that feat. It's got to be.
They did make the Stanley Cup final with a losing record, though. But
what was it? 24-32, I think it was?
They were like 24, 32, and 11.
I think it was 24, 21, and 11. I forget what exactly it was.
It was. I know they had more losses than wins, though.
It was 24, 21, and 11. They played 56 games. They went 24-32 as I add regulation and overtime losses. Anyways, before we ramble on too much, I think we should start making some picks. Quincy, what do you think?
Let's do it.
I think this is the best bracket of the year. Anyways, first match, we'll start in the West. We'll be looking at the first seed in the West, the Colorado Avalanche, against the second wild card out of the West, the Nashville Predators. Now, this kind of reminds me of a few years ago. Did Nashville make the playoffs last year?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they did. Oh, never mind. It doesn't remind me of anything then. Dang it. These two teams met in the 2018 playoffs. However, the story was different. Nashville was the powerhouse, while Colorado was just getting back on its feet after an abysmal season in 2017. Colorado's been a force this year. I'm thinking of the big three. McKinnon, Landeskog, Rantanen. Cale Makar he might be a top 3 player on the team. Forget Gabe Landeskog.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I believe those 3 are still on the line. He's a defenseman, right, Makar?
I think so.
He's an offensive defenseman if I've ever seen it. But like Colorado has been a force in the Central Division just about all season long. I think they didn't they lead it for most of the year?
I think so. Yeah, no, but you want to talk about offensive defense, but you gotta talk about Yossi, man.
Roman Yossi of Nashville. Roman Yossi of Nashville. I think Nashville is a very solid team. Their wild card seeding does not really reflect how good of a team they are. Again, this is going to be a really good series. But Quincy said in his video, it's very difficult to win in Nashville. Because the fans, they remind me a lot of... Hold on, let me think. They remind me a lot of Raiders fans. Because Raiders fans, they were
so much Raiders fans, but
just because they're both crazy fan bases. The Oakland Raiders fan base, back when it was the Oakland Raiders, the black hole and everything. Predators fans remind me of that. And whenever you get scored on, the fans are gonna let you know. Soros, you suck! I think Nashville... I think they could win all 3 games at home. They could, but...
I don't know about home.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say Colorado 4-2. And let me just put that in as the first team to advance in the Stanley Cup Playoffs, at least in my predictions. They probably won't be the first team to advance in real life, but... they are my first advancee. I'm going with Colorado 4-2. Quincy?
I agree. So I had the same thing in mind.
You had 4-2, pretty much for the same reason. He had 4-2 Colorado, and I pretty much noted the same exact things as he would have. I kind of took notes. But yeah, Colorado. We both agree on Colorado advancing in 6 games over the Nashville Predators. See it right there. Our next series, Minnesota and St. Louis. The Minnesota Wild and St. Louis Blues. The only person I can think of from Minnesota who's a true stud is Kirill Kaprizov. He's crazy.
Dude's so good.
If you're thinking of a player of the year candidate, if there was such a thing for divisions, I would give it to Kaprizov in the Central or Makar. Nobody on the Blackhawks. We were terrible. But yeah, I think Minnesota, very solid team. Do they still have Stalock?
I think so.
But yeah, their goaltending's fine. Stalock is good. I don't even know if he's still on the team anymore. You tell me.
I don't think I have no idea.
But yeah, overall, I think Minnesota's a solid team. St. Louis, too. I don't think they're nearly what they were in 2019, but I think St. Louis can put up a fight. But I think Minnesota, I think this will be another 6-game series. I'm going to go with Minnesota 4-2.
I got Minnesota in 5 in mine. I love the Wild, and I don't trust the Blues. I don't think they're that great.
I don't think they're that good either, but I'll give them 2. By the way, while I update this, NBA playoffs are all chalk through 1 round. Boo! We did not have a single upset.
Yeah, the Bulls really kind of just kind of went away after winning game 2.
They stunk it up. They got destroyed 3 games in a row. And honestly, being a Bulls fan sucked. But yeah, I was thinking about advancing the Blues, but
Nah, I didn't even think about it.
I actually thought about advancing the Blues. But I just think Minnesota is too good for anyone there. So we both have Colorado and Minnesota. This is where we could start disagreeing when we get to this quadrant of the bracket. Calgary, Dallas. I'm thinking this will probably be very similar on both ends. I mean, we basically agreed here, except I gave St. Louis an extra game. Calgary, Dallas. The Calgary Flames and the Dallas Stars. Remember last year when I picked Calgary to finish first in the Pacific, missed the playoffs? I should have picked them to finish first in the Pacific here, because look at that. They're right there, and they're going to face the Dallas Stars, who got passed. No, I'm an idiot. Dallas passed Nashville. Yeah, they passed Nashville at the last second to get that higher wild card spot. However, screw wild card spots. This is not an easy match.
The Stars are they're a tough physical team.
They are.
Put you in the mouth all game.
How long have Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn been on the team?
I don't know, since the dinosaurs were around.
Yeah, they've been around forever. They just won't go away. But yeah, I think Dallas is a very solid team. This series, I think, could go 7. Because Dallas...
I had it go for 7.
I think Dallas is a very, 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 very solid team. But Calgary, if you think about it, they score quite a lot. How many points did they finish with? 116?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Calgary in 7 games. I think Dallas will put up a good fight. But Calgary, in the end, will just be too much. They'll be too hot for Dallas to handle. See what I did there? They'll be too hot for Dallas to handle. Give me the Flames in 7 games. That'll be a good series. Or maybe Dallas will pull off some wild card win over Nashville crap. Remember 2019 when all the 1 seeds lost in round 1?
Oh, that was funny. I picked like 3 of those right, too.
The only one you didn't get right was Tampa.
I think,
All right. Quincy, what do you think of this one? Calgary and Dallas. Who are you picking and why?
Flames in 7 because speed is going to outduel power in 7 games.
Speed is going to outduel power, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows, maybe Dallas will be up 3-2. Calgary gets game 6 on the road and has all the momentum for game 7. All right, here we go. This is where we can start to disagree. Edmonton and Los Angeles. The Oilers, the untrusted Oilers, and who I think was a dynasty for a couple of years. They won 2 Stanley Cups in 3 years, the Los Angeles Kings, back in the Dustin Brown days. Back when he was back when
Call him a dynasty, I guess.
back when he was in his prime. Although the real dynasty during that decade was the Blackhawks. Quincy, don't challenge me now.
Sure, fine.
What are you against the Blackhawks?
I hate the Blackhawks.
Of course you do. Probably because of what happened in October. Anyways, we won't get into that.
I didn't even hate them when they were winning cups. I don't like them now.
Yeah, because of the whole scandal. Edmonton and Los Angeles. Quincy, what do you say about Edmonton?
Well, last year when they got to the playoffs, it was supposed to be them and the Leafs to win to compete for the North.
And what happened?
And people like to talk about how the Leafs were like the joke of the playoffs, and sure, they lost to like a horrible team.
I think Edmonton was the real joke.
Edmonton got swept.
They got swept by a team they should have beaten 5.
Close to a bad Winnipeg Jets team.
They should have beaten them in 5.
Yeah.
Or 4 if we're... Like, come on, Edmonton. And Quincy, you said in your video, you can't just roll...
Like, you're like cutting out. Are you like standing farther away from like the mic?
Am I now?
No, you're still like kind of like weird.
We are currently experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. Am I good now?
No, you're here. I'm gonna hang up and then I'll call you back.
All right. We are currently experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. All right, after that debacle, we're good. Quincy, what were you saying?
Okay, so what team was I talking about?
You were talking about Edmonton's embarrassment.
Okay, yeah, the Draisaitl and McDavid combo just hasn't worked in the playoffs.
And again, you can't rely on 2 guys.
Which, I mean, it's disappointing. But I don't really see the hype with the Kings. I don't think the Kings are... The Kings aren't scaring anyone, in my opinion.
They've kind of caught... Honestly, they've kind of caught my attention.
I don't know. I don't know if Anze Kopitar
is good.
But he's old, man. He was on all those other teams.
Yeah, he was with
I think they're a good team, but I'm gonna say Oilers in 6.
He's saying the Edmonton Oilers will defeat the Los Angeles Kings. Now, I have not made my pick. I'm making all these on the fly. Like, I did not pre-pick anybody. I'm making all these on the fly. So, I don't know who to pick. So, Quincy sets up a Battle of Alberta in round number 2.
That's actually probably, like, the only reason I picked the damn... That's probably the only reason I picked him, because that's all I really want for
He sets up... I want to see a battle of AB as well.
Second to the Leafs winning the Cup. That's what I want.
If that happens, I might stream for that series only. None of the other series matter. Unless Carolina, New York. Unless it's Florida and Tampa. But we'll get to that. I want to pick Edmonton. Believe me, I want to pick Edmonton. But I can't trust them. I don't think they're that good. Neither do I think LA is that good. If you think about Edmonton, they do. I think they overachieve a lot in the regular season. They win a lot of games, but I just don't get the hype for the McDavid-Draisaitl combo. Again, as Quincy said, it has not worked in the playoffs. I just don't get the hype for Edmonton. I think it'll go 7. Edmonton will put up a great fight, but I think in the end, I just cannot see a Battle of Alberta in the second round. I know. Go ahead, hate me. I know you guys are going to put in the comments saying, you suck at picking teams. Why are you picking the Kings to beat the Oilers? Because I can't trust Edmonton.
I honestly wouldn't even be surprised.
Because I can't trust Edmonton. I think that'll go 7. Actually, hold the phone. Nah, I'll say 7 for now. So I say Calgary, LA. Although I would love to see a Battle of Alberta. I wouldn't even care if that pick was wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if the Kings won. Move on to Florida and Washington now. The Florida Panthers and the what in the world? We got a problem here. There we go. Fixed it. And it's probably the case here too. The logo was overlaying one of the outer bars with the white to red gradient with Washington. I don't know what happened there. There we go. Florida and Washington. This is easy. Do they need any introduction?
I actually think this is going to be a closer series than expected.
I think it'll be a 6-game series. I'm gonna go Florida in 6.
I'm gonna say 6 in mine too.
I'm gonna say Florida in 6. They don't really need much introduction. All I can say is that Florida is the best team in the NHL. They are the best team in the NHL. I don't want to hear it. They are insane. I saw them play. Sure, they lost to Vegas somehow. I don't know how they lost to Vegas, but they did. I still think they're the best team. Their best talent, I think, is Jonathan Huberdeau. The man has gone off. How many points does he have?
I think 115.
Kid's good, man. I mean, again, if there was a player of the year in division thingy, I would give it to Huberdeau.
What I thought was funny in the Kings-Oilers one, the Oilers have 2 guys with over 100 points. Actually, over 110 points. The Kings don't have a single guy over 70.
Who's their leader in points? Kopitar?
Kopitar had 67.
Oh my god. That's ridiculous. But yeah, I go with Florida in 6. Washington will put up a fight, but I think in the end Florida is just too good. Alright, this is Quincy Bell's favorite series. The one he thinks the Leafs... Actually, I'm not going to spoil it. I almost spoiled it.
Okay.
We go with the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning. 2 blue and white teams, although Tampa Bay does have a third color. Quincy,
right.
I'm going to let you take this one.
All right. So what is new with the Leafs this year? That's kind of the main thing every year. It's why will this team be the team to win a playoff? It's what makes this team different?
Nothing.
Last year's big improvement was supposed to be defense. Defense was a lot better last year than it had been in years past.
And what happened?
Okay, they still lost, but the defense this year is I think also better than the defense this year is also better than in years past. I think this year's defense is better than last year's defense. Mark Giordano and Timothy Liljegren, one is 40, one is 19. I think they have gelled together very nicely. I think they've been great. No complaints here from them. Matthews has obviously had the best year so far of his career, scoring 50 goals in 50 games.
Leading goal scorer in the NHL, I think.
He did.
60 goals.
He needs to show up because he did not in the playoffs last year.
No one did.
And in Matthews' best playoffs, he got 5 goals in 7 games against Boston.
That's horrible.
The Leafs still weren't even supposed to win that series, and they brought him to a 7th game.
As always, they go 7 every year.
So, I mean, Mitch Marner's great. Jack Campbell. I feel like the goaltending isn't as good this year as it was last year, but I mean, Jack Campbell's still...
He's a good goalie. I like Jack Campbell.
He's fine. I mean, he'll be all right. Hopefully he'll be all right. I don't see how a team that hasn't won a playoff series in 18 years. God, get this. Oh my God.
2004 was their last series win. Who did they beat?
I think they beat the Red Wings.
Detroit? Where's Detroit, huh? They're not in this bracket. I know.
I don't even. That might even be wrong.
It's probably wrong. So who do you go with here, Quincy?
The Lightning are going to win. I mean, they've won back-to-back Stanley Cups. I don't see how they're going to lose to... No, they're not going to lose. Give me the Lightning.
How many games?
7. The Leafs are going to finally lose.
You're going to go 7 here?
Yep.
I think it'll be a much quicker series than that. I do think this Maple Leafs team is better than ones past. Like, again, Austin Matthews just having that monster year, 60 goals, leading goal scorer in the NHL. Defense has been much better with Giordano, especially. Who are some of the other good defensemen? I forget. What's their faces? Liljegren.
He called up. He got some playing time last year. He's stepped into a much better role this year.
Yes. Okay.
TJ Brody's been
great. Him. Yeah, you can see I'm not an expert. Yeah, I do like Toronto.
On paper, literally on paper, the Leafs should win. On paper, the Leafs are a better team, but you don't play on paper, you play on ice.
Exactly, which is why they're going to lose. And I think Tampa, although they're not as good as years past, I just don't think... I think this might be a 5-game series.
Tampa has the experience factor.
Exactly. Tampa, they're going to play like they've been there before. Toronto, I don't know what it is about Toronto, but every year they go through the same pain every year. I just don't know why. I don't know how you... Quincy, how have you endured this pain for so long?
It's the curse of Ballard. I mean, at this point, I know they're going to lose. There's no one there.
Watch them just win.
That'd be great, man.
If they win, I will pick Toronto.
If they lose, they should blow it up. I'm not even kidding.
They should just get rid of everybody, come back.
If they can't win, I don't know if they will, but they'll definitely think about it.
I think it'll be... Actually, you know what? I'll give Toronto an extra game. Just kidding. I'm going to say this goes 7.
They do have home ice advantage, though.
I'll say it goes 7. Well, oh, wait. They have home ice?
Yeah.
Switch it up. You know what? I'm doing it. I'm going to lay it out. I'm doing it. I think this is finally it.
Damn, so you saw home ice and then just completely switched up.
I know. I was going to change my mind anyway. I was just getting fans' hopes up. I was going to change my mind anyway.
Wow, you're really rocking with the Leafs?
Yeah. Watch me just be right. Watch me just be right.
Nah, I've just become a pessimist with the Leafs. I just become a pessimist.
Same with me with the Blackhawks. They're terrible. They're not even in this bracket. Look, where are they at?
You know what? Don't even give me the being a Blackhawk fan is so hard routine.
No, I'm just saying they're horrible. Like, where are they at? Huh? They're not in this bracket. Nope. And they won 3 cups in 6 years. I'm not too mad about it. I don't know how. They just did. But yeah, I honestly think this is finally it for Toronto. This has to be it. Like, they have...
A bunch of Tampa fans, I've seen Tampa fans that have picked the Leafs because they're kind of like, there's no way we're doing this again, man.
This has to be it. I mean, I didn't want to eliminate the back-to-back defending champion in the first round, but...
The
it's going to be broken. I'm telling you, I have to do this. I want to pick Tampa, but I had to go with Toronto. But I'm probably going to eliminate them next round anyways. But we'll talk more about that later. Carolina, Boston.
Honestly, I think one more thing about the Leafs. I think if the Leafs win in the first round, they're winning in the second round. Because then the monkey's off their back. They can play like pressure free.
Next, Carolina Hurricanes, Boston Bruins. I saw Quincy talking about this series and saying how Carolina's a really good team, and I agree with them. A lot of young talent has really evolved. My main guy on the team is Andrei Svechnikov.
Great player.
That kid's a stud. He invented the lacrosse move, didn't he? Or was it Forsberg? It was him. It was Svechnikov.
It had been a thing that, like, he didn't invent the move. It had been a thing that, like, you could do, but, like, no one really did it in a game.
He popularized it.
He was, like, the first guy to, like, do it in a game.
He made it popular.
Sure, yeah, you can say that.
So did Forsberg, but yeah. But, I mean, I think Carolina, super talented. They're so fun. Like, it's either them or the Rangers that are my third team. Because I really like these. I really like both the Hurricanes and the Rangers and the Panthers. I like all those teams. But then we go to a team that nobody likes unless you live in the state of Massachusetts. It's the B-Wheels. The Boston Bruins. The Boston Pests, as I like to call them.
Yeah, no one likes Boston.
Get them the heck out of here. You know what? They're deleted from the playoffs. They're gone. I'm just kidding. You know, I like Carolina. I do really like Carolina. I want to pick them, but I just cannot see all the one seeds winning. And I just think Boston, they're going to find a way to win. Quincy said the same exact thing.
Yeah, I mean, the Hurricanes are better on paper. They're younger, they're faster, they're literally everything, and Boston's going to find a way to win.
That's just how they play. They just make everybody mad, and they find a way to win. And they've dominated Carolina in the playoffs over the last few years. I mean, look, they played them in the Eastern Conference Final in 2019, swept them. Although we kind of expected it. You're saying Boston wins?
Back when the Bruins were the better team than that.
Yeah, Carolina was just going on an absolutely massive run. We all wanted them to win. But what did they not do? So you're saying Boston?
Yep, Boston and how many games did I have? It's 6.
I said Boston 6. I have a lot of 6-game series here. I only have 1 series in 5, and I don't have any sweeps. I just cannot see any of these being sweeps.
I don't think I had any sweeps either.
So the last series in the first round, and then we're halfway through, essentially, is the better New York team. Screw you Islander fans. No, I'm just joking. Don't take that personally.
Here's the thing with Islanders fans. They have, like, hella beef with the Leafs. And the Leafs, like, beat them all the time.
Except for that one game where they were mocking Tavares. Actually, they were doing more than mocking him. They lost Tavares' like first game back, but like since then, the Leafs have beat them like literally like. Because the Leafs are better. Like, look at them. I see them here. Where are the Islanders at? Where are they at? I don't see them. Anyways, we got the better team from New York, the New York Rangers, which was the case for a while, and then it was the Islanders' turn. Now it's the Rangers' turn again. Against the Blanksburg Penguins. Get them out of here. I mean, again, they're a team that just finds a way to sneak into the playoffs. Are they really that good?
They were bad last year, weren't they?
I think they were bad, and then they snuck in somehow.
No, I don't think they were in there last year.
I think they were. Hold on, let me think.
I don't think they were.
I know Philly wasn't.
Philly's terrible, man.
Speaking of, they didn't make it here either.
No, they were last in their division.
I'm trying to think. Wait, who? Philly?
Yeah, Philly was last.
Yeah, we'll look at Pittsburgh later, but Crosby and Malkin, 2 players that have been around for a while, they're talented. Crosby might be other than Ovechkin, the best player in the NHL right now. He's the second best player in the NHL right now when it comes to veterans. Rookies, we'll get to them. Not rookies, but younger guys. But Crosby's the second best long-tenured veteran in the NHL behind Ovechkin. And I have them both losing. Here's why. The Rangers, so much talent. Artemi Panarin is the main guy I look at. Like, I don't know what else to say other than this Rangers team is young, fast, just like Carolina, but I think they have the edge over Pittsburgh. I'm going to say young over old this time. Give me New York Rangers. I'll go 5 games.
I am also picking the Rangers, and for one reason and one reason only. Their goal is like Igor Shrishkinin or something like that.
Shesterkin.
The replacement for Lundqvist.
He's
been great.
He's insane.
He's been great.
What's his goals against average?
Pittsburgh, I mean, I literally looked at their 3 goalies, and I hadn't heard of, like, their starting 2, and then their third is Tristan Jarry, who was, they were in the playoffs last year. And Tristan Jarry was horrid. He was so
Yeah, they
bad.
faced the Islanders last year.
He was horrid. I'm picking the Rangers in 5 just because of the goaltending. I think their forward and defense, I think they're very comparable in talent. The goaltending is the big difference.
I also think it's going to be young over old in this series. I just think New York, especially Artemi Panarin. I love Artemi Panarin. I miss him. He was traded from the Blackhawks in 2017. I miss him. You're saying New York in 5. So our first rounds are pretty much the same. But this might be where we start to disagree. Is the second round, especially in the East. I know who he picked. Colorado and Minnesota. We go to the second round. The Colorado Avalanche and the Minnesota Wild. We spent like 40 minutes talking about the first round. Good Lord. Colorado and Minnesota. The Avalanche and the Wild. Quincy, I'll let you go first.
Which series am I doing?
Colorado, Minnesota.
No, this took me a long time.
He's already made his picks.
My problem with Colorado is they've had enough talent to get over the hump and like win a cup, and they haven't even made one. They barely even made the semifinals. I don't see why this year it's gonna be different.
I don't either.
Minnesota had a real good team last year, but they were supposed to get killed by Vegas. Vegas was a sweep. And they pushed Vegas all the way to 7, almost won Game 7 too.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to take a step this year and beat Colorado. I'm going to take Minnesota in 7.
7 games? I'm saying the exact same thing. I like Minnesota a lot. I mean, again, Colorado is like the same thing every year thing, kind of like Toronto with the first round, Colorado with the second round. I just don't think this year is the year. I'm going to say the exact same thing. Minnesota Wild in 7 games. We've mostly agreed so far. I'm saying Minnesota in 7. This will be an epic series. For me, it's Calgary, LA, and for me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, I'm picking a lot of high seeds here. I might make some changes. I was thinking about advancing St. Louis.
You don't want to do that.
I said I was thinking about it, but I picked Minnesota in the end. Yeah, I'm going to go with Calgary, LA. He has Calgary, Edmonton. I'm going to say Calgary in 5. Because I just think once LA gets past Edmonton, they're going to face the better Alberta team in the Flames. and they're going to lose to them in 5 games, setting up a Minnesota-Calgary Western Conference final. Now, Quincy has the Battle of Alberta.
All right. I don't care. Both of these teams, I mean, Calgary could be the best team in the NHL, and the Oilers could be in last place. And this would still go to 7 games. I mean, these teams hate each other with just all of these teams hate each other so much. I really don't know who I would pick. I mean, I think I gotta go with the Flames. I mean, they are the better team. I'm going with the Flames, but close. It's gonna be a fight. Would be a legendary series, but give me the. Have they ever met in the playoffs before?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It was it was way back in like the 80s or whatever. Steve Smith.
Yeah. I'm taking.
Calgary, I am too.
Yep.
In 7 games. We go to the East. No introduction. Look at them. It's the red, navy, and gold team. It's Florida. They're going to defeat Toronto. I'm going to say in 6. I just think, again, Florida is way too talented for anybody to handle. Like, who knows? They could be my Stanley Cup champion. Again, I haven't made my picks yet. That's not spoiler for anything. I'm making these on the fly. But yeah, I just think Florida, with all their talent, I forgot to mention, Florida, I believe, has the deadliest power play in the NHL.
That's wrong. The Leafs do.
Wrong. Florida does.
I think the Leafs have the highest percentage.
Wrong. I just think Florida, they're more consistent.
Yeah.
They score a lot of power play goals, and I just think with that, Florida's too good, man. I'm going to go Florida 4-2.
All right. I have Tampa and Florida.
He has Tampa versus Florida.
So much like a repeat of this past year when these two teams played in the playoffs, and Florida was the better team, and Tampa kind of went in as the underdogs. And I feel like a team with playoff experience is dangerous as the underdog. I mean, I picked numerous games in here. I think Florida's great. I'm taking the back-to-back Cup champs, though. I mean,
How many games?
6.
You're going 6 games?
I can't, I'm not betting against.
You see, I don't blame you, but I just think Florida's too good. Now, I said I'm not going to pick all the high seeds. I proceed to pick all the high seeds. Like, good Lord, I'm such a hypocrite. Wait, why the heck are these shifted? What's going on here? Now, whatever. Yeah, we move on to Boston and New York. The Bruins and the Rangers. Again, this is such a good bracket. I feel like the better teams will beat the lower seeded teams. This is a terrible bracket. There's no way this is going to work out. I'll probably make all sorts of changes. But I just think the better teams are highlighted, but these lower seeded teams are also really good. Boston and New York. Oh my God, this is tough. Man, this is really difficult. Boston's an older team. New York's a younger one. I pretty much made the same points I did earlier. I feel like Young's going to defeat Old again. But I this is really difficult. Quincy, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. You've made your pick already. Because I'm going to take an hour. Boston, New York.
Rangers haven't been to the playoffs in a while. A lot of the only guy that really has playoff experience is Panarin.
Yeah, because he was on the Blackhawks.
This is setting up very similarly to the Carolina-Boston series for me.
It is.
And it's the Rangers are better. The Rangers are more talented. The Rangers should win on paper. The Bruins are going to find a way. I'm taking Boston in 5.
Boston in 5?
I think this is going to be a learning experience for the Rangers. I think that a lot of these young teams they kind of got to get their ass kicked before they really contend.
4-1, he says. So his conference finals go as follows: Minnesota versus Calgary, Tampa versus Boston. Freaking Boston. And you know what? I've made the decision to go with Boston. I wanted to pick New York, but I just think, again, same reason as Quincy. They'll find a way to do something decent, a.k.a. win. I don't want them to win. I want to make that clear. I don't want them to win. I just think they'll win. I think they're too good. Again, it'll be a learning experience for sure. I think the Rangers are really, really good. But it's a learning experience. But I'm going to say this is a good series. I'm saying this will go 7. Because the Rangers will put up a fight. So I got 2 1s, a 2, and a wild card. Quincy has a 1, 2, 3, and a wild card. We move on to the conference finals. Our Western Conference is the same, but our Eastern Conference is pretty different. Look at this. For me, it's Minnesota. So Minnesota, Calgary. We'll go Minnesota, Calgary first. I'm going to put lots of thought into this. Both teams are very talented, and I think they have... Minnesota is more with the young talent. They have a few veterans, though. Again, Kirill Kaprizov, he's crazy. Quincy.
Oh, love that guy.
I'm going to have to put some thought into this. This was your Western Conference final. I'm putting a lot of thought into this one. Quincy, I'm going to go ahead and let you reveal your pick first, because I'm once again going to take an hour.
All right. Both these teams are kind of carried off of one person. Good they got some great players.
Matthew Tkachuk is really good too.
Yeah, I know.
Although he did try to injure Jack Campbell. Last year, he did try to injure him. I knew you were gonna get mad.
He's this type of guy. There are players like this where it's like you love having a guy like that on your team. You hate it when you have to play against someone like that. I think the Flames are more well-rounded.
I think they are too.
So I'm taking the Flames.
How many games?
7.
7?
Yeah, home ice advantage is going to get it for them too.
7 games. Wow, you're basing it off home ice advantage. I see how it is. You got mad at me for doing it for Toronto. What did you just do?
No, I was just because you switched it up so fast.
I know. Well, I was going to change my mind anyway. I went with Tampa and I was like, wait a minute. Should I do Toronto? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do Toronto.
You literally had already picked Tampa. Well, since they have home ice, you take.
I think this is finally it. Because Game 7 last year doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
Because they didn't have fans.
It most definitely does.
I mean, they had home ice last year, but...
it doesn't count for the Canadian teams, but it counts for the American teams?
But no, seriously, where the heck were the fans at? Oh boy, Quincy's getting mad. I just triggered him.
It doesn't matter.
I'm actually going to go opposite of you. I'm going to say Minnesota. And I also think it'll go 7. The reason, although I do think Calgary is much more well-rounded, teams from Canada, again, I can't trust them in the playoffs. So when did you have them go into the the Western Conference Final. Easy road.
That is true.
But Minnesota is so talented again. Last year they nearly took out Vegas, and their team is essentially the exact same this year. I think for Minnesota, this is their time. It is their time for them to do something in this postseason, and that something is making the Stanley Cup final, making a huge splash. This could be a Stanley Cup final full of young talent, because if we look at Florida and Boston, guess who I'm taking?
I don't know. Who?
I'll tell you what, Boston's not the team with... Why did he end the call? Why did you end the call?
My bad. That was not an accident.
He accidentally ended the call. Folks, we were experiencing technical difficulties for a second. So yeah, he picked Calgary, I picked Minnesota. These aren't really serious picks, you know. Let's try to have fun with it. But guess what, guys? You guys are seeing it on the screen right now. I'm gonna stretch him across the screen, and I'm gonna make Quincy wait. I'm going to make him reveal his pick before I tell him mine. You guys know what it is. Who do you pick between Tampa and Boston?
Tampa.
And why?
I mean, they weren't really supposed to win the last 2 years, and they won it. I mean, this specific group, they know how to get it done. And
how many games?
These are two teams that I think they're better overall talent than Boston. This would be the first team Boston will have had to play with like real playoff experience. I'm taking Tampa. It's hard for you to bet against them with the way they played the last two playoffs.
How many games?
5. I think it's
4-1.
Coming, the Boston run's coming to an abrupt halt.
Yep. Quincy, guess who I picked?
You picked, for which series? Who did you have?
Guess who I picked between Florida and Boston?
You picked the Panthers. I knew you picked
Yep, I picked Florida. I feel like I'm overhyping them too much. I'm overhyping them way too much, guys. Rip me in the comments. Go ahead. I'm overhyping Florida. They're not that good. I mean, come on now. I only have them going to the Stanley Cup final to face Minnesota.
Minnesota.
All their series are 6 games. Anyways, Quincy, your Stanley Cup and my Stanley Cup are dramatically different. Yours is Calgary and Tampa, a rematch of the 2004 Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, I mentioned that in my video.
And no, Calgary did not get screwed. It was not a goal.
Don't start this. It 100% was a goal.
No, it wasn't. It was over the line. It was on top of the line.
It most definitely was over the line.
Next. Calgary, Tampa. Who do you take? Like, explain the matchup and then tell me who you're going to take.
Okay. To repeat as a champion, you have to be, in any sport, you have to be better the next year than you were the previous year. Is Tampa better this year than they were last year?
No.
No, I don't think they are. Calgary, a Canadian team's got to win the cup eventually.
Right?
I mean, eventually it's got to happen.
I mean, I don't have it happening, but it would be cool if it did.
I think Tampa's reign of terror comes to an end, and Calgary gets revenge from 2004. Flames in 6.
So, Mr. Bell over here has predicted the Calgary Flames to win the 2022 Stanley Cup. I mean, I don't know if I agree with that, but it's a decent pick. Yeah. He picks the Flames. Decent pick, but I'm not picking them. I don't even have them going to the Stanley Cup final. I probably should have now that I think about it. But he picks Calgary. How many games again?
6.
6. He goes 6 games. That 04 championship went 7. Calgary would have home ice this time. Tampa had home ice in 04.
Another reason. Look.
All right, my turn.
Those are like the 2 farthest teams you can get, like Tampa and like Alberta. Those are like.
I think it's Tampa and Calgary. I think it's Tampa and Vancouver.
No, I think it's Florida and Vancouver.
Oh, you're right. It's Florida and Vancouver. But I've got Florida and Minnesota. The Minnesota Wild and the Florida Panthers, who I think are the 2 best teams in the NHL. Although I have Calgary as a close third. I watched Florida play. Again, their offense and their power play especially are deadly. Same with Minnesota. I think if these 2 teams met up in the Stanley Cup final, it would be an offensive slugfest with a lot of goals. And who's the goal? Oh, yeah. Sergei Bobrovsky and Spencer Knight is a pretty good goaltending tandem for Florida. I don't even know who Minnesota's one is. I completely forgot.
Cam Talbot.
Oh, yes! Come on now! I thought I was the expert. Apparently not. Yeah, anyways. You know, Quincy, I hate to do it. You know who I'm picking?
You're going to pick the Panthers, aren't you?
That's right. It's Florida. The Florida Panthers are going to win the Stanley Cup. Watch me be wrong.
Duh.
Watch me be wrong. Watch them get swept by Washington. Oh, now that I said that, they're going to get swept by Washington. Now that I said that.
I don't know. That's going to be a close series. I don't expect the Capitals.
Now that I said that, they're going to get swept by the Capitals. Now that I said that.
That's gonna be a good series, man. I'm telling you.
But yeah, Florida will probably win that series. Even though experience will probably catch up to them. I have to do it. I wanted to pick Florida. I've been watching Florida, and I think this is their time. I'm gonna go with a 7-game Stanley Cup final series. When was the last? Oh yeah, 2019 was the last time we went 7. I think this will be a 7-game.
With the Bruins and what's their name?
The Blues. Yeah, this will be a 7-game Stanley Cup championship series. I've been watching the Panthers ever since they started hot. I'm going with them. If they don't win it this year, they're going to win it within the next 2 or 3 years. They're just way too good. Partly because the Atlantic Division sucks. The bottom half of it.
Yeah, I mean, the top half's got some good teams, but...
The bottom half, Buffalo, Detroit,
Ottawa.
Columbus, and Ottawa. Wait, is Columbus in the Atlantic or the Metro?
They're in the Metro.
Oh, yeah, frick me. Who was the other team in the Atlantic? Montreal. It was Montreal. Anyways, yeah, that whole language is bad. Anyways, I picked Florida. Quincy picked Calgary. We both go with 1 seeds in the end. Although there's no way either of our brackets are going to be right. They're both going to be wrong after round 1. Just watch.
Oh, for sure.
Our Stanley Cup champions are probably going to be eliminated in the first round again. Like, our picks are terrible. They're all going to be wrong. Especially mine. Why do I have Toronto winning? And also, what's wrong with me? LA over Edmonton?
Yeah, I don't know. Those are on you, man. I don't know what you're...
Like, what's wrong with me? Like, if there are going to be 2 wrong picks on my bracket, those 2 will probably be it. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at our brackets and go with the boldest pick. Quincy, what is your boldest pick?
Mine's probably Boston and Tampa making the
Conference final.
Conference semifinals.
And that's actually the Eastern Conference final.
Yeah,
them making it all the way. And your boldest pick is definitely Tampa over Florida.
Nah, I don't even think that's that bold of a pick. I mean, they beat them last year.
If anything, the boldness is on me picking Florida to win it all.
Yeah, I don't know Calgary. We'll see.
Yeah, this Stanley Cup final, we haven't even gotten there yet. Okay, let's try that again. These Stanley Cup playoffs are going to be extremely entertaining. As you can see by my brackets, I don't have a single sweep on here, although there will probably be one or two sprinkled in there somewhere. Like, if there's a series that's most likely for a sweep, it would probably be Minnesota-St. Louis, if I had to be honest with you.
Yeah, probably.
Or New York and Pittsburgh.
St. Louis will get one in there.
They'll probably get one. It'll probably be Game 4 where they're already down 3-0, or it'll be Game 2. It's either going to be Game
Honestly,
2 or 4.
The Blues had the same curse that the Leafs did, and then they won the cup and they kind of went right back to form.
Yeah. These are my picks. These are Quincy's picks. Rip us down in the comments below because these are absolutely terrible. Especially mine. They're very similar brackets, especially the West. The fact that I have Florida winning it all is terrible. But yeah, anyways, that's it. That's all for the video. I want to thank you all for watching. If you liked it, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more of this. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. I plan on streaming for a few games these playoffs. I don't know how many, but we'll see. Can't stream today or tomorrow. I've got work. And Quincy Bell is also planning on streaming. He's going to stream Tampa Bay versus Toronto tomorrow.
Leafs-Tampa Game 1 tomorrow.
He's going to do Leafs-Tampa Game 1. We'll see what else he does. If we have a Calgary-Edmonton series, I would stay up until midnight to watch those games. As long as they're on a Friday night or a Saturday night, I would stay up till midnight to watch those. That might be the only series I focus on. Screw all the other ones. Screw Florida. I have them winning. But yeah. Share this video with your friends. That's another way to spread the word. And for Quincy Bell, I'm Zach Shapiro. And until we meet again, this is good night.
Go Leafs, go.